Yo, what is good, my quick crypto family and my coin factory family? We're back again with another daily Kaspa and crypto live stream, and safe to say that the community for Kaspa is feeling very optimistic, very bullish today. While, it's nothing substantial, of course, it's still very early doors. Kaspa has, after what feels like, since March, beginning of March effectively, so 2 months almost, of being below 8 cents, Kaspa's had its first real sign of breaking above this level of resistance, which is really reassuring. Of course, we'll have to wait and see how the day pans out and where we go from here. I'm also would not be surprised to see that more stop levels have been now placed at 9 cents from the exchanges as well. But with that being said, we have a lot of very interesting sources to cover in today's stream regarding Kaspa as a whole. Even Ethereum is also quite interesting, the market sentiment, and a lot more. The title states is it a Kaspa Fakeout or a Kaspa Breakout. We'll debate about that in today's stream. As it stands right now, I am not getting ahead of myself. Remember, don't be emotional, be logical. This is great to see, of course, and I hope it continues in this fashion, but it's still early doors. Of course, Kaspa has got a lot of very big catalysts incoming. As we can see from this post here from Kaspasaurus, Kaspa Catalyst incoming. You've got the 10 BPS, which is now 2 weeks away now. Smart contracts. You've got Casino, which is the casino coming out. You've got Seller Swaps, OKX listing, because now that's in the United States of America. Binance and Coinbase listings as well, and that's not even covering all of it as well. You've still got stablecoins, which is, I think, stablecoins arguably is the biggest thing for Kaspa. You need smart contracts for them to be fully operational, but you can get some early adoption of stablecoins thanks to the Casplex opcodes. You also got Dagnite. You've got many other listings as well. You've got the actual smart contract architecture, not just the EVM side of things as well, and KII, and so many more huge catalysts incoming. So, while Kaspa is still in its infancy, there's still a lot more to look forward to as well, which is why there's a good argument to be made that it's not a fake out, but in fact it is a sign, an early sign of a breakout. A lot more to look forward to, of course, and I'm very optimistic about it for Kaspa. You can see Kaspa right now is up 7.2% on the daily time frame, now valued at 8.35 cents. We did see it peak earlier today at just short of 8.5, which is not surprising. 8.5 to be another level of resistance here. It seems that Kaspa has a level of resistance at every 0.5 cent zone. So you have it at 8.5, 9, 9.5, 10, and so on and so forth. But if Kaspa can cleanly break above this, I would like to believe, not financial advice, do your own research, of course, that Kaspa could end up seeing another push towards 10 cents. We'll probably get rejected here, come back down, but with what is coming up in the next month or weeks, if you will, Kaspa can very well start doing this, start consolidating here again, and then break above again as well, especially due to the M2 supply as well. So as always, if you enjoy these streams, we do them every single day. Leave a like, share with your friends, and subscribe for more. Welcome back, my man. First you were indeed. Welcome back to the channel, brother. Hope you're doing very well. And you too, Kas fam. First like, leave a like on the channel. Thank you very much for joining once again. Shylist, my man. Hey man, good evening. I don't think it's a fake out. What do you think? Right now, I am on the fence. I'm not trying to get ahead of myself. I think it very much does depend on the macro again. We did see Bitcoin up to 88k earlier. So Bitcoin did have a good surge. Now it's come back down just below 87k. So, that price pump has now come back down again. So it could have just been a fake out from Bitcoin and therefore fake out for crypto. But you could argue Kaspa is in a slightly different boat due to all its big developments. We'll get into that, of course, throughout this stream. I'm optimistic and I'm hopeful for it to be a breakout. And again, as Kathy Wood stated, the longer the base, the bigger the breakout. So if it is a breakout, Kaspa, by logic, will explode a lot higher because it's been down for so incredibly long. We'll have to wait and see, of course. Welcome back, Mila. Hope you're doing very well. Welcome back to the channel. You too, Falco, as well. Get me back to the break-even price for mining. Lol. A matter of time, I'm sure, brother. A matter of time indeed. So, with that being said, we're going to get to some of the macro news first, which I find quite interesting. And then we'll get into the Kaspa news and correlate it back to some other macro news. Trying to go through the streamlined process of it all. I do plan to release a video later today as well. I'm trying to determine what it's going to be about. Either it's going to be about Kaspa overtaking Ethereum in the future to be, or even about how Visa is going to run on Kaspa rails. Both of them are very good talking points that I'm sure I can make a very educational video about. So stay tuned for that later today. I'm not sure exactly what time it will go up. It should be going up no later than 3 hours after the stream. I'm still trying to tell me what I'm going to do today. We're going to find out more throughout the stream as well, though, of course. But with that being said, welcome back, Thomas. God bless Kaspa family. You know it. Welcome back. Hope you're doing very, very well today. And happy bank holiday. Those who are, well, I'm not sure if everybody celebrates that today. I'm not entirely sure. I know it's that in the UK right now. Of course, I'm not on a bank holiday. I work every day. But I do it out of the love of the game, of passion, not because, you know, I feel that I need to. You know what I mean? With that being said, the first source comes here is just purely just proof of such of why I still remain so incredibly bullish on crypto this cycle. The fact of the matter being is there are currently 72, while majority right now are XRP, which is understandable, 72 ETFs for crypto are lined up and ready for approvals. We are still waiting for Paul Atkins to come in as the SEC chair. We have heard confirmation from many of the SEC commissioners and those in charge right now that are actually waiting for Paul Atkins to take over before they start approving or dismissing ETFs, most likely to be approval. So we're likely going to see a massive flood of ETFs being approved once Paul Atkins takes over. We don't know exactly when, but we do know all we have left to do is for Trump to sign or create the documentation, the order, if you will, and sign him in, and then we are good with that, guys. So we can see, yes, you've got a majority, of course, being XRP, you've got some Solanas, you've got even Trump's asset, which is not too surprising to be told, even Melina as well. You've got BNB, Bonk, Cardano, Polkadot, Chainlink. There are going to be many, I'm sure, that probably won't get approved. Stuff like Avalanche, I think, will get approved. Stuff like Polkadot probably will. Stuff like Trump, truth be told, probably will as well. I don't see why Bonk would get approved personally, but again, what do I know? That's a meme token. I don't think Bonk really has the use case or capabilities to be a ETF or have the need, if you will. But again, if institutions want to get a hold of it, they want to get a hold of it. And this is who is it? That is Tuttle Capital who's filed for one. But we can see here, even Eric Bolchiners, who is the senior ETF analyst of Bloomberg, highlights here as well that there are 72 ETFs waiting for the SEC to respond, and they are waiting for Paul Atkins right now. XRP is the leader. You've got Solana and Litecoin and Dogecoin are also quite high up as well. This is ultimately going to, majority if not all, are going to be approved this year, 2025. So when you think about the level of, right now, institutions only have scope and adoption into Ethereum and Bitcoin. Think about how the scope's going to expand into Solana, XRP, Litecoin, Hedera, Dogecoin, potentially the likes of Trump and Bonk, and who knows, maybe even Kaspa as well. I mean, that's a speculative comment. We don't know for sure, but we do see mass adoption coming through the cycle, and it's still going to get better from here as well. Highlighted here, breaking the US dollar index, or DYX, is plunging to its lowest level since March 2022. If we have a look at that here, DYX, you can see the DYX, we are at very, very low levels right now, which therefore is highlighting and indicating that the value of the dollar is deteriorating more and more. It's coming down further and further. This therefore means that the current economy, or at least the value of holding the dollar, is losing its value. So typically when the dollar falls off so heavily, that's when you see the assets start to cycle into investment, particularly on risk assets. If the dollar comes down, you see investment into gold, being a store of value element. That's why gold's been going higher and higher continuously, almost at 3,500. Look at the massive surge in gold recently as well. That's because the dollar's falling off. And the same can be said for crypto as well, because it's an expanding asset class. And equally, you could highlight that gold and Bitcoin is the digital gold. So again, this is very, very reassuring. The dollar index coming down is a good sign for crypto to come up in the cycle as well. And that's further supported by posts like these, with Jerome Powell being the chairman of the of the Federal Reserve, who has reasserted that he supports the stablecoin legislation coming out in America. He wants to see stablecoin legislation come out in America, see stablecoins being adopted. He mentioned that in a interview, a panel, if you will. I think like last week or something like that, not that long ago. I really remember listening to it on April 16th. So yeah, about 5 days ago. And yeah, he'll just always be talking about the fact that we do need to see stablecoins come through. He is very, very optimistic for that. I think it could be a very good thing for America and payments as a whole, which is what we've been highlighting time and time again. So we're seeing support for stablecoins grow continuously, which is really, really reassuring. And this is going to be another key indicator for big institutions to get involved. And we can see even here, as a final macro thing before we get to some Kaspa news, Stan chart sees stablecoin supply rising to $2 trillion by 2028 following the US legislation. Right now, I believe it's about it's about 215 million. It's a stablecoin market cap. So we're going to see, a 10x effectively in the next 3 years, which I think even that, it could be more than that. It really does depend on the level of adoption we're going to be seeing. We're going to be seeing stablecoin legislation coming out in America. We're seeing more adoption, more stablecoins being issued as well. We are extremely early, so it's really reassuring to see all around. And you're going to see everything come on chain, from debt to stocks to bonds to real estate to energy, to insurance, like everything. Everything's going to come on chain. That will take some time to build up, of course, but the first element of adoption that comes through for institutions and for crypto mass adoption is stablecoins. That's why stablecoins will be so very big going forward as a medium of exchange, as the form of payment. And then you have the asset on the chain of choice. So if it's Kaspa in that regard, you'll see stablecoin transactions on Kaspa, and Kaspa being the gas fee, it means that all stablecoin transactions on Kaspa's layer 1, Kaspa will be burnt as a gas fee, which would therefore rise its demand and its scarcity, making it a deflationary asset and going up in value. So again, this is the kind of future we're looking at for crypto right now. It's looking very, very reassuring. We're only going to see it go up higher and higher, and that's why, Kaspa, I'm very bullish about it. We've seen the volume for Kaspa equally jump up quite considerably. It was at 30 million, which is one of the lowest we've seen in a very, very long time, which we did highlight yesterday. That's normally an indicator that, it's the kind of calm before the storm, a massive low point in volume before we see an explosion, if you will. And it's not really an explosion, it's almost a 3x, 1.5x, or it's 2.5x even here. So it's a decent rally, still below 100 million, of course, but this could hopefully continue the momentum to see more adoption and more volume coming through as well. Gate dominating at nearly 40%, closely followed by MEXC, well, not closely, but MEXC at 15, XT 11, BitGet 6. BTCC's fallen off massively now, which is quite interesting. But again, we've seen the sort of adoption come to Kaspa, and it's, still remains one of the most bullish projects in this space right now, and Kaspa is starting to climb the ranks again. Up to now 41. It was playing in between 50 continuously, and now up to 41. In my personal opinion, Kaspa will continue to rally throughout the cycle and probably surpass top 25 quite comfortably, and maybe be a top 20 or top 15 asset. Top 10 would be very exciting, but from where I'm looking at right now, looking at these assets, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Tether, XRP, BNB, Solana, USDC, Doge, Tron, Cardano. I think maybe Link can flip Cardano. That's just me speculatively saying. Maybe, but it's tough to say right now. I think equally Stellar's got a good shout of that. I don't know if Sui will become a top 10. Actually, Sui could be, if I'm being honest. I think Sui's got a shot, Hideo's got a shot, Stellar, and Link. Maybe not AVAX. Cardano, I don't like Cardano. It's a bit biased, probably, but my point being is, my whole point is just saying that I think the market cap for a top 10 will probably be just short or in around 100 billion. That's my thesis right now, because right now, if you look at the list, look at Tron, for example, Tron being number 9 right now. You go to Tron, you check out its market cap all time, and you can see it actually went up to only 36 billion. So it didn't go to that high, truth be told. So maybe Tron won't reach that high again, we'll have to wait and see. But when you look at something like Cardano, right? Cardano went a lot higher. Cardano went to nearly $100 billion market cap in its peak. So to determine where the top 10 market cap wise will be, I want to say 100 billion, maybe be a bit more conservative, maybe more 50 billion is the top 10 assets. If it's only 50 billion being a top 10, that means Kaspa only has to reach $2, which might sound like a hop, skip, and a triple jump away now, but at the same time, $50 billion market cap for Kaspa doesn't sound too far-fetched considering everything they've got coming out in the cycle. That's speculative speaking, and that's not me trying to give a price prediction, I'm just highlighting once more that Kaspa is still very, very early, and we don't really have a true idea of where we're going to go in the cycle, but I do think Kaspa can reach top 20. I think that's a possibility. But that's even the short term. Long term, Kaspa again is a very, very solid asset, and we'll see the adoption continue to grow more and more based on their developments. It's still the most bullish project, and in my belief has the most promising catalyst coming through, not due to the actual developments, but also due to the listing side of things as well. Highlighted here from Kaspa King G. Do we see an explosion in hash rate once the crescendo hard fork goes through the mainnet? It is very likely. We've seen the hash rate, after falling off quite considerably, down to almost 800 petahash per second, it rose back up to 1.12 or 1.13, so a 300 petahash rise, and now it's consolidating around 1 extra hash. we saw it peak at just below 1.6, and with 10 BPS, it's kind of like a, I don't want to say a double-edged sword, but to put it into perspective, right, there is currently, I think it's 58. So right now, if you're mining Kaspa, you get rewarded 58 Kaspa per block you mined, right? But you've got to understand that this means that when 10 BPS comes out, it doesn't mean you have, you know, a higher chance to hit 58 Kaspa per se. It means that 58 Kaspa is released per block. But if it's 10 BPS, it's still happening 58 Kaspa per 1 block per second. So it means that that 58 Kaspa reward is actually cut, you know, by a tenth. So actually you're only going to end up making 5.8 Kaspa per block buy, you know, theoretically speaking. But at the same time, if you had a 1 in, you know, X amount of chance to hit a block and mine that Kaspa, you now have got a 10 times higher chance of hitting it as well. So it's kind of a, if you mine a block, your chance of actually mining the block now is higher, but the amount of rewards you get is lower. So it's, again, that's why I say double-edged sword, kind of. But that being said, it's still going to increase the security and the, you know, hash rate of Kaspa as well. And, you know, with the speed as well, with all the other big things coming through like smart contracts and stablecoins, that will increase the adoption and demand for Kaspa, and that will generate higher price and therefore bring in more miners coming through as well, which will therefore in due time increase the hash rate. And hash rate is very important for proof of work. Not to mention as well, you've got the likes of Ice River and Bitmain who are actually releasing brand new miners just in time for 10 BPS as well. So you'll see more improved hardware coming out for this meta update as well. So things are looking up in my belief in that regard as well. And as highlighted from Christian Ludwig and also from Wolfie, it's about the M2 supply, which we've been talking about a little bit more on this channel. It's not a perfect indicator, but it is still very interesting. Ludwig highlights here, the last time global liquidity, so M2, surged in 2023, Kaspa became the world's highest gaining asset of the year. You can see right here, the M2 supply was going up higher and higher. We saw it get to a really, really high level here. And that's when Kaspa was doing really, really well. And then it started coming down from there. And we see the M2 now is just going higher and higher and higher. If you look at it right here, we know right now that the correlation between Bitcoin at least and the M2, as I've mentioned in previous videos and equally in my live stream, it's got 80% correlation. That means it's not perfect, it's not a silver bullet, but it's got quite a good contingent, or quite a good accuracy, if you will. So we go on to the M2. For those who want to find out, you go on to TradingView, the website I use, TradingView. You go on to the indicator button up here, click that, type in M2. You click on the second one here, M2 Global Liquidity Index here. When you do that, you'll get this show up. And then what you do is you'll click on the 3 dots down here. You go down to settings, and then you'll set the offset days for 10 to 15 weeks after. So obviously 0 is where it starts off at. Now 10 to 15 weeks afterwards would be a correlation to, I'm trying to do the math in my head right now. 10 to 15 weeks is equivalent to, how am I forgetting this now? Do I mean 10 to 15 weeks? I think I do. I'm forgetting the complete offset right now. Sorry, I'm completely brain funny. But ultimately, you got to set the offset from 10 to 15 weeks afterwards, because when money is printing into the economy, that money will always go into the quote-unquote safer investments, safer assets. So it'll be, you know, going towards the real estate market, the commodities market and whatnot, all the stuff that's deemed as safe. And then once that money's gone into the safe, low-risk asset, it goes onto the on-risk asset market, which comes into stocks and crypto and whatnot. Or at least stocks is a bit more safe, with crypto in particular come to that. So it's normally a 10 to 15 week offset, and that's when it starts coming into crypto. So I put 90 days here being kind of the middle ground between 10 to 15 weeks offset. And you look at it from Bitcoin here and, you know, adjust it accordingly. You can see that the M2 suggests that, you know, we were seeing a peak around end of December into January right now. And with as such, you saw Bitcoin obviously make its peak in January as well, coming down. And now I'm starting to see Bitcoin make a bit of a rally following the M2. Now again, 80% correlation, not 100%, but it is quite close. So by that logic, going into May, going into June, we should start seeing Bitcoin hopefully make a rally towards its all-time high level again. And then it even should hit one of these zones that I predict will hit as a potential take profit zone, which is around 130k Bitcoin, coming into July, August time, which is when we're going to see one of the big catalysts coming through with the market structure bill and stablecoin regulatory bills in America as well. and potentially more ETF filings as well, and approval from the SEC as well. So things are looking up in that regard. And as Wolfie highlights here, the M2 liquidity index aggregates M2 money stock data from 5 major economies: China, United States, European Union, Japan, and Great Britain. Now he does it on a 10-week delay. Mine again is a bit more like 12, 13-ish sort of delay here. And does it on the 1-day chart like I do on the 1-day chart here as well. And you can see the original run to 4 cents was a perfect match. Chart synced around November 2024. And you can see here, he gives a bit of a rundown here as well, so I'll get into a little bit in a little bit. But we could go, when we compare it to Kaspa right now, we can see, compare the M2 to Kaspa right now, we can see that there is, it does seem to sync up again around November time right here. You can see right here, so obviously it did really, you can see here, Kaspa made its peak here around December, November time, and that's when the peak happened here as well. And then it came down with Kaspa here as well. And we can see now that M2 makes its recovery here as well. So again, Kaspa, should it follow the M2, will start making its recovery kind of now going into, again, May, June time, which of course Kaspa's got a very, very big updates coming up then as well. Crescendo, 10 BPS, you've got the smart contracts, stablecoins and whatnot as well. So Kaspa hopefully will follow. I mean, again, it hasn't matched up for a while because, again, Kaspa had its whole unique run, FOMO run against everything else, and now it's starting to match up with the M2 like Bitcoin, like everything else, and now it's starting to hopefully blend together, which therefore means Kaspa should start to rally up soon enough as well. Still early on to say, again, not a 100% correlation. It could definitely skew off, especially if the macro weighs too heavily into the market and Trump's tariffs start to screw with us again. But, things are still looking optimistic, is how I'm going to put it for Kaspa right now. As Wolfie highlights here, in case you are unaware of the M2 money supply, you can think of it like this. Playing a game like Monopoly or Life, a board game when you were a kid. Imagine somebody keeps taking money off the game and just putting it back into the box, so the bank effectively. It's harder to get anything like, properties or house or hotel. You can't get anything right now in the game because you haven't got any money. It keeps getting taken and put into the box. That's what we have for the last 3 years with quantitative tightening. And now we're on the verge of seeing QE, money printing, rate cuts. Happened in COVID, going to happen again very soon. And we'll start seeing then the money come out of the box, the Monopoly box, the Life box, and given back onto the board where you can just kind of scoop it up and then, take advantage of that, if you land on a sacred square, whatever. So it means, again, it's one of the class, it's not, again, a silver bullet, golden bullet, but it's a very, very key indicator to analyze where the markets are currently heading right now. And things right now are very, very vertical, very bullish, very, very high, which is reassuring, to say the least, very reassuring. Should hopefully lead us to a lot more bullish momentum going into the rest of the cycle. Again, it's not financial advice, it's not confirmation. You have to take a lot of consideration when trading, and in particular understand the significance macro has on the market. Macro can weigh very heavily into the market and cause, inconsistencies. Trump's tariffs caused to come down further. So we have to wait and see. But Kaspa is in a very strong position in that regard, and we can see here why are we pumping today? Well, it's speculated that it's because of Trump once again. Trump posted primitive cuts in interest rates are being called for by many. With energy costs way down, food prices, including Biden's egg disaster, substantially lower, and most other things trending down, there is virtually no inflation. We've heard confirmation of that yesterday's stream as well. With these costs trending so nicely downwards, just what I predicted they would do, there can almost be no inflation. There can be a slowing down of the economy unless Mr. Too Late, aka Jerome Powell, lowers interest rates. Right now, we are seeing inflation coming down, which is fantastic. But we are seeing the economy slow down at the same time. Now, when the economy slows down, what you want to do is you want to inject liquidity into the economy, put money into the economy, print money, rate cuts. But you don't want to do it too drastically because that will also cause a reversal and an increase in inflation. But because inflation is coming down right now, you actually have the ability, therefore, to start cutting rates, start to print money. So effectively, Donald Trump is highlighting here that Jerome Powell, should be cutting rates now because the economy is stagnating while inflation is still coming down. So we'll have to wait and see how long it will take for him. I believe, and as Kaspa highlights here, Right now, the market is at 88% sure it will remain the same, at least for the next FOMC meeting, which is on the 7th of May, which I do believe as well right now. Unfortunately, as much as Trump wants rate cuts, he has no power to cut them. Cutting them may actually not be beneficial for us long term. Some say they should be hiking them. Now, I'm not so much sure about hiking them. And equally, I mean, rate cuts would be fantastic for our cycle this time round. It could be costly going forward. We'll have to wait and see, of course. But what I want to highlight for those who are, banking on rate cuts, effectively, right? In the 2017 cycle, one of the most successful crypto cycles to date, when Trump was first in office, that cycle had no QE. It had no rate cuts. And we still saw one of the best bull runs ever in history. So we don't need rate cuts. We probably should have them, and it'd be good to have them. We don't need them. And we'll see, hopefully, the market perform without them either way. The M2 supply is going up either way without America printing money. But, to keep some form of stability in the market, with the dollar going down so far, we'll have to see how they handle the situation going forward as well. But it is, again, crypto pumping because Trump wants interest rates cuts, making clear there's no inflation, everything's, it's a very weird predicament right now. Again, right now the economy is in a lot of uncertainty, but I think there seems to be a lot of signs suggesting that you can cut rates right now, and I do tend to agree. But again, for me, if that happens, I think it will be in June, which does again match up to the M2 supply, where the M2 supply does suggest that, we'll see momentum, considerable momentum going into June as well. I believe the FOMC meeting in June FOMC, it is on the 17th and 18th of June, which, if you do correlate to the M2 supply, that puts us just around this all-time high peak. That's around here. So, again, should we end up getting rate cuts in the June FOMC meeting, that will be around this all-time high level here. So Bitcoin could therefore spark and rally back up to this price up here, or round here or so. So I'll just have to wait and see again. And Kaspa, for me, again, big, strong position with May being a catalyst month for us. I think Kaspa is due to see some outperforming behavior very, very soon. If you look at Kas Bitcoin, you can see right now that Kaspa has been, a bit lackluster for Bitcoin for quite some time, but it's starting to make a bit of a recovery here, which is reassuring. Currently only down 26% right now. And I do believe it is going to be a very, very close future where Kaspa starts to rally above Bitcoin again. If Kaspa starts to reach, 20 cents again, Kaspa will easily surpass here again and go much higher as well, even if Bitcoin starts to rally as well. We're still in a Bitcoin dominant market. Altcoins will come back, as a bit altcoin market very, very soon. We just have to be patient and wait and see. Still, look, Bitcoin dominance is still at all-time highs, since, 2021, since the last cycle. So again, it might see it go up higher still. We've got a lot more to look forward to as well, and Kaspa again is in that good position as well. We should get into this part in just a moment before I answer some questions real quickly. So once more, as Thomas highlights here, if you enjoy this stream, leave a like, share with your friends, and subscribe for more. Stu Clark, my man, welcome back. Evening to all. Did you see Charles Schwab announce spot trading for crypto also today? Resistance broke on Kaspa at 8 cents. Bullish day at the races. Charles Schwab did announce that as well. Over the next year or so, or in the next year, they plan to interject or invest into the crypto space. So that's like 37 million more people, or clients effectively, or users that will jump into crypto. Therefore, and that's just again early adoption. There's still, you've got JP Morgan to consider. You've got Wells Fargo, UBS, Bank of America, Morgan Stanley, Goldman Sachs. There's still so many massive wealth managers, financial institutions, and banks that still want to get into crypto. Charles Schwab's just one of them. It's still very, very early, and again, this is just an early sign of ETFs coming through. There's going to be many, many more coming out through the cycle, and cycles to follow that as well. Welcome back, Buffalo Bro. Hope you're doing very, very well. Anyone noticed Kraken now offers stocks just launched today? I did not know that, no. But again, that is also a very big deal because it showcases the merge between TradFi and DeFi. That the financial sector had a big divide between crypto and the rest of the world, and now that's blended together. And you're seeing everything jumping on chain as well, which is really reassuring. Welcome back, Gosu Bro. Hope you're doing very, very well. And you too, Kaspa is key. Yo to you too, brother. John Doe, breakout, please. Johnny, make it go up. Oh boy, I wish. If anything, I do not make it go up, because since I started streaming, Kaspa's done nothing but go down in value. I started streaming at its very, very peak. Back here at 20 cents when I started streaming, it's been doing nothing but going down since. but I'm sure it'll start going up very soon based on the M2, based on other indicators, based on Kaspa's developments as well. All a matter of time, you know. Divas me, bro, welcome back to the stream. Hope you're doing very, very well. You too, Half-Life, welcome back, brother. And yeah, hopefully you're all having a very, very good day so far. Fang72184, Kaspa is my ticket to financial freedom. I just reached Shark tier. Love to hear that, brother. Keep stacking that bag. Sounding very, very good indeed. And yeah, Kaspa for me is my ticket to just an easier life. Obviously, I do a lot more than just holding Kaspa. I hold other altcoins. I do hold a bit of XRP, some Sui, some C, some Tau. I hold some Vulcan Forge. Got some other ones I'm holding as well that I don't disclose publicly too much because again, that's the benefits the VIP do get. And again, we cover a lot more in this particular community here regarding trying to build our knowledge. We do trades in there as well. We're doing educational content like how to trade, how to do this, and understanding the elements of the market. Also research documents from institutions, alpha information, and so much more in there. So if you want to find out a lot more to help build your information and knowledge of the space, 7-day free trial, the Coin Factory, links down in the description. Also my homepage here as well. There's a lot more we offer in there, and so far I've had nothing but I would say reassuring and positive feedback from it so far. We're still trying to build it up more and more. So to find out more, again, links down below. And also here as well. Come check it out. That's crazy. I'll never reach Shark. Hey, never know, man. You have to wait and see. Again, this anything can happen in this space right now. Never say never, Stoked on the new Kraken update definitely brings security to their brand. Oh yeah, exactly. It definitely brings a lot more security to the brand and a lot more trust as well, which is also reassuring as well. And again, we're in a very, very premium and advantageous spot right now. Kaspa is 2 weeks away from a massive, massive upgrade, and crypto is again on the verge of seeing massive institutional adoption. The next update comes here from a response from Paul and Son here, where Paul and Son stated about the whole element of how Bitcoin is great, but Kaspa is just better because it actually can scale properly. Apart from censorship resistance like Bitcoin, advantages of block DAG are record high speed, which is of course 1 to 10 bps coming out very soon, scalability, relatively cheap, sound basis for industry applications, easy access for all world citizens with access to solar PV and so on and so forth. And Christian Hutchinson highlights here, this is exactly how real world adoption happens. Nothing through tribalism in crypto, but simply down to the fact that amazing tech can and will benefit industries and the individuals. That is the incentive, not solely based on price go up mentality. Kaspa is going to take over the world not because of its hype, because you don't want to miss out. FOMO is going to take over because it's got the tech to prove everybody wrong that it is the next big thing. What I hope, which I agree with here as well, is that Kaspa does things diligently as they have been doing the whole time. As far as optics, I really hope that the first team to release smart contracts right now, I think it's going to be Kasplex, on Kaspa, does their due diligence. Don't rush, don't ship out a project that is hardly ready. Make sure that it's really, really good so it does not potentially tarnish Kaspa. And there'll be many projects in this space that have done that, who release stuff too early and it ends up just damaging the overall image. Right now, I think the first project to release smart contracts will be Kasplex, and I do hope they've done due diligence and it will be really, really good. This is really important. As great as it is to understand the technology behind these things, what is way more important is that UI and people will be using to interact with Kaspa smart contracts. If it's rubbish and not user-friendly, it simply won't catch on. So it needs to really be efficient. It's a lot of, it's a big, big ask. Being first gives you the advantage of being the first mover and early adoption, but it's also the biggest risk to reward. If you're not up to scratch, not up to code, you can effectively tarnish not only your own image, but also Kaspa's as well. So, it's a big, big ask. Now, but I do hope that Kaspa will pull through very, very good as well. And, again, Kaspa is for me in a very strong spot. We've got this video here from Saint, which again, it kind of goes into everything talking about crypto and Kaspa. There's also this video interview here from Son Polinsky. 2018, Son Polinsky predicted Visa would adopt tech like Kaspa, enabling thousands of transactions per second in a trustless system. This vision will come true very, very soon, as Visa have integrated or are partnering with Tangent, have part of Tangent, and they're going to be releasing Tangent Pay, which is a Visa collaboration, if you will, the first ever Visa plus hardware wallet partnership. And as we've seen recently, Visa liked a post from somebody, which is indirectly confirming, at least from my perspective, that he's going to speculate soon, Tangent Pay will be using Kaspa Rails, stablecoins. They've been great for Kaspa. Real utility and adoption is coming soon. They liked it. So you could indirectly confirm, therefore, that Visa is going to be running on top of Kaspa, and that is also an indication for my belief, every single massive TradFi company, when they realize the significance of Kaspa, its speed, its cheapness, its utility, and everything it's got to offer, Kaspa will be deemed as the best solution, the best platform for it as well. So I'm looking to highlight here, how blockchain and centralized systems are slower, they're just terrible, but Kaspa is the future in that regard. And then we've got comparison to Ethereum as well. Vitalik Buterin recently just proposed replacing Ethereum's virtual machines, which is very interesting, and the shift could streamline smart contract executions and boost speed by up to 100 times. Which is interesting, so he wants to replace Ethereum virtual machines with RISC-V for better scalability. Now, this is one of the first times I'm hearing about it. I know Ethereum have been preaching about updates for quite some time because, again, they're expensive, they're not really scalable, they're slow, they're terrible. Right now, Ethereum fees are actually really, really low. I think they're about $0.01, which is cheap. Kaspa's still cheaper, but it's cheap now, which is good. But again, that is still without mass adoption coming through yet. When you see, at the peak of the last cycle, 21 or 22 even, Ethereum's transaction fees were $200. And that was even at times where you didn't even have $200 worth of transaction sending. Sometimes, like back in the last cycle, I sometimes only had like $50 that I was transacting, and the fees were still north of 100. And I was like, why am I paying 2.5 times what I'm actually taking now just for the transaction fee alone? It's ridiculous. So they're trying to propose an upgrade right now, which could be beneficial for them, but at the same time, I don't think it's going to save them. Should the Kaspa team focus primarily on porting these decentralized applications from Ethereum to Kaspa, Kasplex and Igra, feel like another Ethereum migration might be on the way. Vitalik drops a bomb about this. Potentially a 100x in speed. But what's funny right now is Kaspa, I think, is already significantly faster than Ethereum. And from my knowledge as well, from what I remember seeing, I need to actually find the proof of such. I'm pretty sure with 10 BPS coming out very, very soon, that'll make Kaspa 250 times faster than Ethereum. So even with Ethereum doing this upgrade, Kaspa will still be much faster than Ethereum, while being more decentralized, secure, and cheaper as well. No point in actually building when they can just port over to Kaspa. That's the thing, with Ethereum doing this, while it might be a big benefit to them, it means that all the developers will have to, rebuild, report over to the new Ethereum, upgrade, integration, the protocol, if you will, where alternatively they could just not have to change anything and just seamlessly port over to Kaspa ZK EVM, which will be coming out months away, be the fastest layer 1 in crypto, and an upgrade to make it fastest will be happening in just 2 weeks' time. Now this could maybe help Ethereum scale up, which would be good for helping Ethereum scale up, meaning you get a higher altcoin market as well, because Ethereum right now is deemed as the altcoin leader. Truth be told, I would not be surprised if XRP takes that title of the cycle. You might hate me for saying that, but you look at the market right now, Ethereum's at 190, XRP's at 121. The fully diluted market cap of XRP is above Ethereum's right now. I think XRP could generally surpass Ethereum. If Ethereum doesn't do anything soon, I think XRP could surpass Ethereum. I'm not joking at all. Not because I like XRP or hate XRP, it's just because I see Ethereum right now is not scalable, it is inefficient, it is ancient, and they're not doing anything to really fix it. So if they don't do anything right now, Ethereum's going to just effectively do a lackluster pump or just bleed into oblivion. And XRP is the next best thing as an altcoin behind them right now in the market cap. And again, we've seen it with the ETFs. With love or hate XRP, they've got the most institutional demand right now. Majority of ETFs right now coming out are for XRP. And that could potentially tarnish the altcoin rally of the cycle if Ethereum does not rally off properly. So maybe this will help for that. But again, I think Ethereum's days are most definitely numbered. EVM will come out for Kaspa before devs choose to rebuild on the Ethereum upgrade for marginal scalability gains. And we can even see from Crypto Aspect, who used to be the Litecoin founder or co-founder of Litecoin, him and the Kaspa devs are already many steps ahead of Vitalik, and smart contracts is our RAI60, and we'll start with the belief, which is ZK version of Vitalik proposed RISC-V. So again, it's just going to be, whatever Vitalik trying to do, Kaspa's already steps ahead of them. This upgrade for Ethereum still wouldn't surpass Kaspa's with what they're developing right now. Kaspa is in a very, very unique spot. There's a whole article here from Bank Quote DAG here, very, very informative here, talking about, what is atomic compatibility and why it matters for Kaspa. It's a very in-depth article that I'm going to recommend everyone takes time to listen to and read to, maybe try and understand. I'll probably talk about it in a video later on as well. Also, just also comparing why Kaspa is, in such a strong spot, is superior. The layer 1.5 element of Kaspa, which is just so unique. It's unique block DAG architecture. This is why I hold Kaspa. While, again, short term is tough to say where Kaspa is going to go. For me, long-term holding with time for the future, Kaspa for me is a hidden gem. It's not even a hidden gem, it's a top 40 asset, but it's a faded gem. No one believes in Kaspa right now because the price has done so terrible and it hasn't got any smart contracts on it yet. And they're ignoring the fact that they're coming out in the next couple of months when the cycle is still not taken off just yet. Atomic compatibility is the cornerstone of interoperability and powerful blockchain applications. It guarantees that different smart contracts and decentralized applications can interact instantly and seamlessly in one trustless swoop. ETH and Sol have showcased how much innovation is possible when this property is presented. But scaling challenges threaten to compartmentalize ecosystems and make such interactions harder. Kaspa's approach leverages its block DAG architecture and the novel logic zone architecture is aiming to preserve a unified shared state for users and developers. Kaspa's future looks a lot brighter. The layer 1.5 is going to be a very interesting element and it's going to bring much more adoption to Kaspa. And you've got the Solana, which is fast, but it's not secure, and it's also not decentralized. Ethereum is not even fast, it's not even cheap. You're going to see these developers, these apps, having the ability and likely will seamlessly shift over to Kaspa, being the cheaper, safer, more secure, and faster application to use, the layer 1. You'll see the early adoption happen in this cycle, and it's only going to rally out more and more over the years. And that's why, while a part of me wants to believe that we could very well see Kaspa do something, not to the same extent, I'd imagine, because it's a lot smaller back here, but something similar, where Kaspa doesn't come down in a bear cycle like everything else. It actually starts to do a little bit of a rally or hold strong, because all the big shift in application and adoption will happen, starting the cycle and continue to rally up more so from that point onwards as well, going to 26, 27, 28 next cycle as well. Extremely early for Kaspa, no doubt. And you're having these sort of projects like Velosoft who are also building on Kaspa as well as a first DEX for Kaspa, or they're aiming to be right now. They're currently announcing a Zeal pre-sale, which of course we all have a bit of a funny opinion on pre-sales, because again, it's not the fair launch element of this. So to understand a little bit more so right now, the pre-sales happening on the 23rd, which is 2 days time. The Zeal utility is going to be a protocol revenue share, infinity pool, governance token, full liquid staking, whitelist access to all the protocols we're building, and future buybacks and burn mechanisms, and many more to come. This Zeal pre-sale, the Zeal token, the Zeal is not going to be an asset that's used for a gas fee on their platform at all. It's still going to be Kaspa. The Zeal Kasplex aren't releasing a token. They're using wrapped Kaspa for gas fees, and Igra, I think they are releasing a token, but again, their token they're releasing is not the gas fee. The gas fee is still going to be Kaspa or wrapped Kaspa. The Zeal here is just meant to be, again, the ability to govern the infrastructure, the layer 2. So have similar to the KDAO, where they make a community decision on what's happening right now. The Zeal token is for similar use cases as well: liquid staking, protocol revenue sharing, and much, much more. As natural highlights here, the Zealous team has just sent us a total supply of Zeal to custody and manage the pre-sales, ensuring trust, security, and long-term alignment. 20% of the total supply will be available in the pre-sale. When Zeal pre-sale here, please note this is not our token or pre-sale. Always do your own research. Our only goal is to strengthen the partnership and support the Kaspa community of the Kaspa ecosystem here. This is the tokenomics here: 40% for yield farming and protocol incentives, 16% for team and partnerships, 32% for security or protocol security and developments, and 10% for community airdrops. Yeah, I'm going to get into it. Understand being very standoffish from these sort of pre-sale stuff and these airdrop stuff like that, it can be very risky. And again, keep in mind, with airdrops coming out, you may very well see people trying to scam you, saying you won a free Zeal airdrop. So be very careful. Always do your own research and be careful and prepare for where. If you want to sign up to this and get involved, then be very, very careful. You can see the tokenomics here, dive into details about that here. I will link this in my community, my free community, which is in my homepage in the description as well, right here. But once more, again, what is the sort of stuff that's coming to Kaspa right now? Very interesting. Of course, again, people aren't very happy with it. Understandably, it can be people being in a fair launch project like Kaspa. Anything that has to do with not a fair launch element will cause backlash. It's understandable. The only thing I can highlight, which is of importance, which is that this pre-sale token, it won't have anything to do with the transaction of Kaspa as the gas fee element of that. It's purely just to help in the sort of managing of the ZIL decks. If you don't like this element, then just don't use the Zealous swap decks. That's all I can say to that. There'll be many more decks coming out that may suit your fancy more so. Casplex are also doing it as well. Zealous swaps is having the ability to be on both Casplex and Igor right now. We'll have to see where it goes from here as well. We're still extremely early. So, while they may be the first decks coming out, they may not be the, as I mentioned, first mover advantage does give you the element to grow quicker. But again, it doesn't mean that you're going to be the long-lasting one. Ethereum was the first mover, and look where Ethereum's at right now. It's struggling heavily. Ethereum is falling off. Being first mover does not mean you're going to survive the long run, unless you're literally the first mover of Bitcoin. There's nothing really you can do about that. But Ethereum was the first altcoin, and it's falling off. First mover does not mean you're untouchable. So just have to see how Zealous handle this and if it's going to work out well or not. What's up, Kryptoni bro? I've doing very, very well. Bro, I just now got the notification. Yeah, YouTube has been very weird for me recently, I can't lie. I know, and I don't know if he's even watching right now. Oh, he is watching, there you go. Yeah, Mr. Miles, I know the past 3 or 4 days, he was trying to message in the chat, and it would not let it go through at all. And I think I know what it was, which I've solved now, but yeah, the YouTube's been very, very funny for me recently. I know sometimes notifications are very, very weird. I do know for a fact that, like, if you're a content creator, if you upload more than 3 bits of content in a day, so like 3 videos or 3 shorts, after that, it does not provide the notification every single time. It's delayed. It's only in a 24-hour period. But despite me, acknowledging that, again, I upload a video on this channel every other day or so and live stream every day. So I don't know why notifications are sometimes delayed. YouTube can just be very, very funny about it sometimes. And I apologize. You could not tune in at the very, very beginning. I should make a more conscious effort again to make the announcement in my free community about the time I'm going to be going live. Typically, if I don't do an announcement, it means I'm going live at 8 p.m. BST, which is 40 minutes ago from now when I went live. But I should make an effort to at least announce an hour in advance about when I'm going live, so people can at least get prepared for it. YouTube can be a bit funny about that. It happens way too often. It's really frustrating. I mean, I'm not happy about it, no doubt. I like Kraken. Kraken I think right now is one of the best exchanges in this space, and of course the biggest one for Kaspa, arguably. Not the biggest one in terms of volume right now, that is Gate. By a bit gets higher as well. But Kraken is, I'd argue the strongest one. It's just not got a lot of adoption because it's only got a USD dollar pair, not a stablecoin pair. And we've seen again, the belief right now is behind stablecoins, not dollars. So if Kraken had a stablecoin pair, I'm sure Kraken would get a lot more Kaspa volume and adoption. But without a stablecoin pair, it doesn't work. If you had a USDT or USDC with Kaspa on Kraken, I'm sure you see Kraken have one of the higher volumes. People like Kraken, it's just no stablecoin pair. Hello from 33 minutes in the past. Welcome back, DC bro. Hope you're doing very, very well. And Mr. Miles, yes, you are now visible again. Great to see. Yeah, so I believe what it was, and it is partly my fault. I've not banned anybody, but because the crypto space is growing more and more, and because this channel is also growing more and more, I'm getting more spam and scam comments, and it's very frustrating. It's talking about Elon Musk's XAI number series, and go and look at Miss Clubberlang. People just trying to scam you in the comments right now. I am only human. I can only do so much, and I try my best. I have a plethora of banned words, and the problem is if I ban the XAI 752 whatever, they then start talking about the XAI 765, and it's like they just changed the last few numbers, and it's frustrating. So I thought I'd be smart and try and ban certain words that would even prevent that from happening, and effectively they must have accidentally ended up banning you, Mr. Miles, because one of the words I banned actually was Mr. because a lot of people are doing the whole scam. Like, oh, check out Mr. Patel's trading course. So I was like, okay, I'll ban Mr., Mrs., Miss, Sir. I'm like, yeah. So that screwed you up. I apologize. That's my complete bad. So I removed that now, and that means that I've gone back to just banning the words that should only be used for the scams. But again, I'm convinced that once this stream's done, or the next video I release is done later today, that I'm going to see another scam comment, and I can't delete them all. There's too many of them, and they come back again and again. There's only so much I can do. So I just got to try and keep blocking the words as much as I can, and that's all I can do really. All I can say is just, be careful with anything you see on the internet, regarding scams and whatnot. You always do your own research. I'll try and do my best to keep the community clean, but again, I'm only human. But welcome back, Mr. Miles. My account was being held hostage until I paid Jay 10k Kaspa. There you go. The jokes are back. Can't say I missed it, to say the least. He's still Jay. If he trapped in my basement right now, he got punished. Well, welcome back, Mr. Miles, man. Hope you're doing very, very well. It has been quite slow, I can't lie. It has been quite slow. Yeah, glad to see you're alive. I'm kidding. Jay is an awesome person that never harmed me. Yeah, did I say it right, Jay? Of course. It's over for every other crypto. May the 5th be with them. Oh, wow. Oh, I love that. May the 5th be with them. Yeah. If it was May the 4th, oh my gosh, that would have been absolute cinema. I have to watch some Star Wars on that day, then I have to. I'm going to watch Star Wars on May the 4th, the whole series. That's going to take, actually, that's too much. I can't watch Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, and then, the animation series Attack of the Clones, and then watch Revenge of the Sith and all that stuff. Like, I can't do all that in a day. I'll watch some Star Wars on May the 4th, and then go straight into Crescendo with a smile on my face and a glass of champagne in my hands, I guess. What's the Kas Dex called? The Kas Dex is right now called... Well, there's a Dex being built. The first automated market maker Dex-based Dex is Zella Swaps. The layer 2 infrastructures that are building on Kaspa right now is Igra Labs and Casplex. I've kept it alive. I'm just super busy working on my car, putting a lowering kit in. Crypto has done a very, very good job. I appreciate those who have been contributing right now, and I do apologize again for my ignorance and banning certain words that ended up banning people in the chat. I have removed all the words I do deem would stop people from commenting right now and people from even interacting. It might mean that I get more scam comments again, which is frustrating, but if I have to choose between getting scam comments and stop my community from being able to interact at all, then it's not a very hard decision for me at all. I'm not forcing him to work on anything, right? I'm not doing that at all. He's going to be so happy to see my grand return. Yeah, to say the least. Very, very happy. Jay wouldn't drive a Chrysler 300. I don't even know what that is. Well, I'm intrigued to find out. Quick type that in. Oh, no, that's a nice car. It's like, for me, like, it looks almost like a combination between like a sporty / like Bentley. I mean, it's like similar to looking like a Bentley. So it's like a very nice car. I mean, hell, I don't know what I'm going to own in the future, but I do have a lot of hopefully I'll have the choice of whatever I want for my Kaspa bag, in the future to be. Welcome back, DD bro. You're doing very, very well. Yeah, I know. I banned Mister. It's terrible, right? Absolutely terrible. The amount of scam comments I got talk about follow Mr. Thingy's course, follow Mrs. Thingy's course. I'm like, I'm just going to have to ban that word, hopefully. No wonder you got blocked. Yeah, that's completely my fault. I apologize. I have a friend who put on Ethereum and Solana. I tell him about Kappa, but he don't pay attention. There are some people who will be badly surprised. I mean, end of the day, right? There are some people who, and it's going to be that's the thing with the crypto space we're at right now. That's why I think XRP is still going to do very, very well, because whether you like or hate XRP, in the eyes of the public and institutions, XRP is the second biggest altcoin. It's got legal clarity from the courts of law, and you got loads of ETFs coming out from the institutions. So if you are a noob in crypto, or ignorant or misinformed or uneducated as a newbie, like, it's not an insult by me saying that. If you're not very informed in crypto, you've got to go straight to these big assets. The Bitcoin, the Ethereum, the XRP, just to get exposure. Despite, even Ethereum, Solana. Ethereum, for me, its days are numbered. Solana, I mean, with Kaspa coming out and its big upgrade, Solana equally, their days might be numbered as well. Going to probably do very well the cycle again, both of them, all of them, but, you know, from that point onwards, who knows? Who knows? We're seeing a lot more adoption coming through. Again, this is the market we're going into, the sort of a 10x in stablecoin in the next 3-4 years. People are going to just migrate to what's comfortable to them. No one likes going out of comfort zones. That's the hardest thing to do as an investor and in life, going out of your comfort zone. That's why I preach about doing research. I do research to help me get out of my comfort zone. Because me looking at a new asset like XRP or Ondu or whatever it may be, Hyperliquid, you could argue whatever it is, it's very hard for me to look at that and be like, I want to get into it. So I've got to research into it and find out if it's worthwhile me breaking out of my comfort zone of the bags I'm holding into something new. Kaspa was a big thing for that as well. I mean, I look at Kaspa way back here. I looked at it back here, and I was like, not so sure. I saw it come down. I should have bought down here. I didn't. I was like, I'm not so sure. And then I ended up buying Kaspa here, because I saw it come back up again. And I was like, okay, no, I think it's worth me putting a bit of a bag in, and then it shot up. But I only put a bit of a bag here to hedge my bets. I didn't do enough research then. And then once it shot up here, I was like, okay, now I'm doing research. And since then, I've been DCAing. And even more recently, obviously DCAing a lot more here. Like DCA'd up here as well, everything. Like I try to DCA constantly, and I put more and more in recently, you know, as the price kept going up higher and higher. But again, you know, people will be surprised, definitely. It's the benefit of doing research. Like research is not just looking at the bright side of things, looking at good, bad, and the ugly, and understanding more and more. And again, the sort of information that we talk about in these streams are hopefully very informative, but equally more in-depth information in the VIP group here as well, which just give institutional insights. And in this community here, we have institutional insights for Solana and Ethereum in there as well, and what they believe about it. Which is ultimately why I don't hold either assets right now, because what they said here has made me believe that, you know, while again they'll probably do well this cycle, their days are numbered. So if you want to find out about that sort of stuff, again, a lot more in-depth insight and educational sources, then come check out the VIP group again. Links down below in the description, homepage, 7-day free trial, and I mean, yeah, you know the deal. You know the deal. Give some wrenches out to protect the chat. Yeah, I know. I should. I have been saying it for a while. I should definitely, maybe ask some of my devoted OG members if they wouldn't mind being some mods for the chat, especially when the channel loads up more as well, just to help in the, you know, mediating of the people who are taking advantage and scamming people. Because again, there's only so much I could do as one person. CJ told me if I didn't watch how he arranged an accident, then got my account banned by accident. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. I still believe being a dolphin can make you a millionaire too, as long as Kaspa adoption will keep going up. Kaspa is too early. I agree. I mean, being a dolphin in Kaspa right now would put you, anywhere between 100k to 1 mil Kaspa. That is a very sizable bag. If you see a $10 Kaspa, you're a millionaire. And obviously, I'm not saying that happened this cycle, but depending on how long you're holding, I think Kaspa can quite easily reach $10 in the future, very comfortably. This cycle, I think, is a bit much to ask for, but again, we are still very, very early in the cycle. Kaspa's still got a lot more to prove. And we're seeing the adoption rally up higher and higher, which is also reassuring that the belief in Kaspa is growing more so as well. And no surprise when you see the nodes are going closer as well to the upgrade, 57.7% for the new version, and equally, we're 52% for the mining version as well. We can even see on stuff like here all the crescendo stuff going through now. It's really, really good to see. This friend has been in crypto for 7 years. Okay. Even many who know what he's talking about don't see Kaspa happening. Again, it's. I have friends as well. Like I have a friend of mine, or a mutual friend of mine, who I've told about Kaspa as well, and he's bullish on Sui, on C, on Hyperliquid, on Nakamoto Games, all of which I think will do very well the cycle as well. So they aren't bad picks. I've told about Kaspa, and while he does understand it, he's also, again, he's not. I think he's got a very tiny bag in it, but he's not really bullish on it, and that's perfectly fine. Again, I'm not a financial advisor. By all means, everyone do your own research. It's up for you to decide what you're going to invest into, which is what he's done. But people, people are so right now. People perceive as what will do well is if you have the institutional partners in adoption, which is true for early stage adoption, definitely, and for Mo case as well, yes, because what the smart money chooses is what's going to win. Typically speaking, so yes, just choosing where the smart money is going towards is a smart thing to do. However, when you've got technology that is a sort of at the sort of level that Kaspa is at, when you've got the founders who are the protocols that Kaspa founders created is what 90% of crypto projects are running on today, the Ghost DAG, or adaptation of the Ghost DAG at least. Ethereum is adaptation of Kaspa, and Kaspa's got that, and then some of Rust, and then DAG not coming out as well. Kaspa is, it's also the element of proof of work. People, for the most part, very much fade proof of work because proof of work has the general consensus now of just being rubbish because of Bitcoin not being scalable, so it's too slow. So therefore people just clump Kaspa into the same bracket, despite the fact that Kaspa is completely different to everything in the space, the most unique asset in the space. End of the day, right, you can do as you will, you can sing to the heavens, but if they don't want to listen, they want to listen. All you can just do is just hold strong on what you believe in, and hopefully, and not if, but when Kaspa does prove everybody wrong, they'll be like, I should listen to you. And you're like, yeah, well, the benefit of doing your own research. And by all means, go check out Quick Crypto, and you'll be able to find out more. Welcome back, Feedback. I hope you're doing very, very well. Kas BTC chart looking turnaround bullish potential. Yes, it does look like we are seeing Kaspa BTC make a bit of a recovery. Kaspa now only down 26%. Hopefully, Kaspa continue this sort of momentum going up as well. Again, we've got 2 weeks of crescendo. I not necessarily believe, again, is it a fake out or a breakout? It's hard to say. I want to say it's a breakout, but I feel like it might just be a fake out for today. I think we'll see Kaspa come back down. But I think after seeing Kaspa consolidate at this level for over a week and then go up, I think chances are Kaspa's going to probably come back down here again and then start making this move up. And then go here and then go from there as well. Like that's my speculation. We actually did have a little bit of a talk about the predictions and what's going to happen in our VIP group with C Crypto in there as well. So he gave his insight as an experienced trader on what will likely happen should Kaspa go up or down. So again, if you want to find out about that sort of stuff, he spoke about it in our last live stream. The link to that is also, again, in my VIP group in the stream playback channel. And you can find the link to the VIP group 7-day free trial down in the description, also on the homepage as well. No centralized networks for me. Kaspa and Bitcoin are the only assets we need. And again, there's nothing wrong with that at all. Of course, I see the value in holding other assets as a hedge to, diversify as well and potentially make some quicker gains as well. Because Kaspa, I think, similar to Bitcoin's a very, very slow burner. I think Kaspa will make good gains a cycle, but it could equally be seen as a slow burner. So for me, I've looked at some other centralized assets, but belief and trust in them is not that high. And that's why I've adjusted my risk to reward ratio, risk management. So I therefore can invest into them and not feel too hard done by should it end up coming and turning out for the worst like Mantra did or Luna did. And that's why I do that, and that's why again the winnings I'll make from that I'll circle back into my Kaspa most likely as well. Showing relative strength versus Bitcoin in short term of late, yeah, Kaspa's looking very strong in that regard, despite Bitcoin dominance still being at extremely high levels as well, which is also quite a treat. See, Bitcoin dominance going up higher and higher, Kaspa's actually running against it. It's reassuring. Is Sparkle still building? Good question, bro. I don't have any confirmation of that, apart from the update that was here. Yeah, here. Now, I don't know how long ago this tweet was, because of aspect here. We just highlight that Sparkle is agnostic to the virtual machine stack, and while it is currently being prototyped on top of IIC0, which is what Vitalik's talking about, in the long run, it will support Cario. We also have plans for ZK Wasm and possibly an in-house solution. So, to answer your question, I don't have updates about it particularly, but I would like to suggest, and I like to believe, yes, it's still being worked on. Right now, we've got technically four smart contract applications, Sparkle and IGRA. You got IGRA and Casplex. You got Project Sparkle, which is the more, I guess the ZK element, I guess. Casplex and IGRA are releasing like the early smart contract, and Sparkle releasing the kind of fully native smart contract element that Casplex and IGRA will end up adopting later on as well. And then you've got KRI as well as the fourth one. I'm a proof of work purist, and there's nothing wrong with that. If anything, it's the safest one to be into, so all good. I'm here for the moon. Anyone else here for moon like me? I'm sure the moon will come, and yes, I'm here for the moon as well. Proof of stake is fine for certain projects, games for example. We don't need proof of work for that. Some projects, other companies pet crypto projects. And yeah, I also agree with that as well. Some projects in this space, you know, like you got Vulcan Forge, you got Nakamoto Games, Ultra, Miria, Gala also. I saw a recent announcement about Gala as well. I think Gala recently had a partnership with somebody. I'm trying to think who it was. I saw a post about Gala. Benefactor. He made a post about Gala not too long ago, which I thought was interesting. I'm not sure how I feel about it. Yeah, I think he's partnering with Elon or something like that. Oh, they're also partnered with Crypto Autos as well. That's interesting. So is Kaspa. Can't remember how long ago it was. But yeah, no, yeah. Look, first lady, Trump previews that. Yeah, so it looks like Gala is partnering with the White House and with Elon or something like that, which is, you know, interesting. I used to believe very, very, very bullish in Gala. I don't hold it anymore. I used to hold it. I don't hold it anymore. Will it do well? You know, times will tell. You know, it's still at very, very low levels. I mean, if it returns to all-time highs the last cycle, you know, that's a very, very big return. That's a, what, 1080x, which would be insane. Now, I can't say for sure it's going to do that. But, hey, I mean, Gala's another gaming project out there as well. Not one I currently hold. Will I hold it again? Tough to say. It is at all-time lows, effectively, so it could not be a bad hedge. Do your own research. But games, yeah, there's elements where games do need that sort of... Games are a different market entirely, and I think gaming is also a market that I'm very, very bullish on, and I see a lot of big use cases coming for gaming in the future as well. Like if Walmart wanted to create their own blockchain for a reward program or something, stuff like that. Yeah, proof of stake will also be very good for that as well, no doubt. There's a pretty large grocery store that just announced they will be accepting payments on Bitcoin Lightning Network, forgetting the name. That's interesting. I mean, again, that sort of stuff you're going to see more and more as the whole space expands more and everything turns on blockchain. Everything can be going on blockchain. It'll go on Bitcoin Lightning Network first, I'm sure, and then you'll see it expand to other networks and hopefully all come to Kaspa in the future as well. Now we'll get Gala Games in Tesla and X Rockets. That would be something to see as well. Something to see indefinite. I mean, Gala had some very good games when I was first covering it. It had stuff like, it had one called Spider Tanks, which was quite good, but it's a lack of updates. You had one called Grit, which was like a battle royale one, and you had another one which was meant to be quite big as well, called, I think it was Melina or something like that. It's like a World of Warcraft type thing, and all of them looked promising, but there was some issues with Gala that I remember seeing that kind of put me off in the end. I was bullish on it, and then I just saw a lot of like legal fiasco, in-house team stuff, and I was like, I'm not so sure now. And that's not me trying to put anybody else, of course. Again, it's just me informing everybody. If you want to look into Gala, by all means, do your own research. They've got the Vox thing as well as the metaverse type thing as well. They also got Gala Music and also Gala Film, so they've got a music and film space as well. Gala could be a good pick. I have not looked at Gala in a very, very long time. Very long time. But last I did, you know, Gala was going through a little bit of a tough spot, so I'm not entirely sure where I stand with Gala right now as well. But if you want to find out more about Gala, then you go check that out. You know, again, it's not. I wouldn't say it's the. Again, just do your own research. End of the day, do your own research, because it's. I don't even know anyone makes videos on Gala anymore. Do anyone make videos on Gala anymore? One recently-ish. Not really. Yeah, I didn't think so. Yeah, so Gala's not really raised. But I mean, it's down quite a lot. And again, typically speaking, no one tends to watch videos on a crypto project that's not really doing very well. That's why everyone talks about XRP for the most part right now in the YouTube space, because XRP is one of the few assets right now that it's one of the biggest assets for one. And also, with everything else is down 70+%, XRP is only down 40. So you talk about either Bitcoin or XRP, and you could call it XRP to like XLM or HBAR as well, that sort of stuff. Kaspa right now, the views aren't that high unless you're a big channel, but at the same time, it's similar to Kaspa and whole. It's an investment, right? The views will come back when the price comes back, and the price is going to come back thick and fast, in my belief. They save the world. You can play Gala in your car while it drives you to work. I mean, that would be something. People in 1997, how to make a mint, a cryptography of anonymous electronic cash. Really interesting. If you could link that to me, DD, in the Discord server, or even just send it to me on Discord, I'll have a look through it because it does sound quite interesting. Again, nothing wrong with getting more research in to understand more about kind of the nature of crypto in this place and where we're going to go as well, you know. I hope Klaus Schwab is behind the dip. Hey, man, he probably is. I think all smart money right now are eyeing up crypto. I would not be surprised if even Warren Buffett eyeing it up now as well. Spar Supermarket in Switzerland, they're the ones who did it. Okay, interesting. The gaming market in USA produces more revenue than movie shows music put together, which is kind of crazy. I mean, the gaming market is huge. That's why I believe in gaming crypto, because the gaming space is absolutely massive right now, and there's a big understanding and, you know, or lack of understanding right now with the gaming space. Like, think about it with Call of Duty, the biggest example I can give. You play Call of Duty Warzone, and you're buying cosmetic skins for your guns or for your character. Like the first Warzone that came out, those servers got shut down. So all the money you spent on that, it's just been gone to nothing now. It's useless, it's dead. But with Web3 gaming, you for one can pay for the rights to own a server through nodes. So that means you could solely keep a Warzone lobby up yourself and earn revenue from that, from the node. And equally, if you no longer want to play the game anymore, the cosmetic items will be NFTs. So you can actually sell those on the NFT marketplace to get money back for it. Therefore, you haven't got to waste money in a game because you'll be able to sell it off and then use that money to probably buy something else. So Web3 is a big upgrade to gaming. And soon people will realize that. That's why you're seeing more big companies like Sony, like Blizzard. You're seeing the stuff of like, there's one I'm forgetting. It's quite a big one as well. But yeah, I mean, premise is you're seeing a lot of big gaming companies now starting to adapt and starting to dive into a little bit of Web3 gaming as well. The level of games, like the quality of them aren't as good just yet, but I'm sure you'll see it catch up soon. Developers were stealing. Oh yeah, that's what was with Gala. Yeah, Gala, you had the lawsuit of Gala. There was like two ongoing. There was one where it was between the gaming project for Spider Tanks and Gala themselves. There's something weird going on there. And then with Gala, which is the reason why Gala way back when went through Gala also had a hard fork. How long ago? It was around May. I think it was around here. Yeah, it was around May 23. Yeah, it was around here. So there was a hard fork that happened with Gala at some point in May time. I think it was May 23. And it happened because there were basically like 3 or 4 co-founders of Gala, and like 3 of them have found out that one of them was just basically stealing from that Gala tokens and selling it off bit by bit. So they did what they had to do, which was to create a second Gala token to basically just lock him out from being able to actually sell the Gala tokens elsewhere. So that's a whole legal thing. And apparently the co-founder who was stealing has a history of doing that as well with other projects. So yeah, that also is a cause for concern. Now, I don't know what's happening with that right now. Hopefully they've avoided that all stuff right now. And you did see Gala rally up to 80s. I was actually still holding Gala here. I think I sold like around here as it was rallying up or something like that. And of course now Gala's come back down quite a lot since. And another rally up again and then back down again. So Gala does seem to have enough momentum in it. And if it returns even up to here, it's still like a 6x in value from here as well. So it's not too bad. But I mean, yeah, that lawsuit, of course, is a whole fiasco. Gunzilla will be big in gaming. I've heard of Gunzilla as well. Trying to remember. There's not a token exactly. I do remember hearing about Gunzilla. I'm trying to remember exactly where I heard about it. But I do think, yeah, the gaming has got a lot more room to grow. My picks right now, the only one I'm holding right now is Vulcan Forge. But I will probably get to some Naka. I think Naka's a good shout as well. And then many other ones as well, like Myria, Ultra. But because they are A, gaming, and B, very small assets. I mean, the market cap for Ultra, for example, is 21 million. So it's actually a micro cap. Anything below a $100 million mark, anything below 100 million is deemed as a micro cap. So when it's a micro cap, it basically means that you've got more time to prepare. Like typically speaking, just as a rough estimate, if Bitcoin rallies like today, the big alts will follow pretty much straight afterwards. the mid-cap tokens, which is anything, sub like 500 million, something like that, to 100 million, those will tend to follow like a few days afterwards maybe. And then the micro caps, so anything below 100 million, even then as low down as this, they can sometimes take up to like a week. Not all the time, but it can sometimes take up to a week to actually start running, so it gives you a bit more time to prepare. But of course, the higher risk, higher to reward. Sometimes these micro caps won't even take off at all, so that's, again, knowing your risk management elements. But I think Ultra's a decent shout. That's one I do also have belief in. That's a little... this is something I'm going to be disclosing to the VIPs in here, most definitely. But I'm also announcing it right now. But Ultra's one I do think will do quite well in this cycle, personally. Not financial advice again, but whereas at, 4.9 cents, if it turns to this sort of level up here, that's like a 50x. Will it do that? I can't say for sure. But I think Ultra has potential for good gains here as well. As a gaming project as well, it has something quite... I do used to follow Ultra quite a lot. I'll look into them again before I decide if I want to invest or not. But Ultra's one I do think has a good enough behind it as well. Sparkle have to wait for Zeka opcodes first. Yes, so you got Casplex and you got Igra that are releasing EVM. So you get some early smart contracts coming out, some form of elements for that, and even KRI, they have their EVM as well, so they're going to have some early smart contract elements as well. But for the KRI and for Sparkle, they need the ZK opcode, the ZK like element, which is what Son Polinsky's building. Well, once Crescendo's done, Michael Son's going to go on to Dagnite, and Son Polinsky's going to go on to the smart contract system architecture, the ZK stuff. And that's how Sparkle really takes off, and that's also how the KRI can launch the rest of their projects as well. So you see early smart contracts coming out in the next like couple of months, or a couple of weeks even. And then you'll see full-fledged smart contracts coming out in like Q3, Q4 this year. So you'll see early adoption and then and then with ZK opcodes you'll see Ethereum bridging early on, and then you'll see like Solana and Tron and other ledger, other infrastructure bridging to Kaspa with ZK opcodes once they come out later this year. I don't think we'll see anything truly big in gaming until something like Rockstar adopts or creates a blockchain. It's not a bad thesis. I mean, you have got some big... Ubisoft, that was it. Ubisoft was the other industry that was also looking at Web3 gaming. And you've got a lot of big Web2 companies looking at crypto gaming. Rockstar will be a very big one as well. I mean, think about it this way. To my knowledge, GTA 6 actually will be having some Bitcoin payment options, apparently. So that could be early signs of crypto adoption as well, which would be big. And I do think you'll see Steam as well, Epic. I think you'll see these infrastructures start to merge and look into gaming. Because, I mean, pretty simply put, like, there is not really much downside to gaming in the crypto, in the sense of, like, again, putting Web3 elements into gaming is nothing but an upgrade. Same thing to how putting crypto into the finance sector is nothing but an upgrade. It's quicker, it's cheaper, and it's more secure. And with gaming, you get more versatility with it as well. So I think, again, we'll see how it comes through in the future. I mean, again, it might take some time, but similar to how you saw it in the last cycle, you saw these projects explode right now. Will they get to the same heights? I can't say for sure, but you might see at least some big pumps. This launched in 2020 Ultra, and then ended up peaking in November 21 when the cycle topped, and now it's down to all-time lows effectively. Ultra could come back. If it does come back, will it reach all-time highs? I can't say for sure, of course, but it could, maybe reach, maybe $1. Again, it's just me speculatively speaking right now. You have to do more research about it. But I think gaming tokens are ones that people will look into later on in the cycle when, the money and capital floods from Bitcoin to altcoins to real-world assets to AI to gaming. Something like that. What's up, Quarter Crawl, bro? Hope you're doing very well. Welcome back to the channel, my man. I'll send you the links when I've done some research. It has links with the NSA at the first glance. I always like to know more about that stuff when it started. And yeah, please do DD, please. It'll be very, very useful for me as well. Prediction for Kaspa and Sui and Q4. I don't do predictions anymore, Ben. But I will say they'll go a lot higher. That's how I can say right now. I think Q4 will see a massive peak in crypto. Probably higher than we expect as well. It depends on the M2. It depends on the monetary policies. It depends on Bitcoin as well. That'll determine how big assets like Kaspa and Sui go as well. GFAI is also one I do think will do quite well, which is down here. Currently up 15%, which is very, very nice. GFAI was deemed as the quote-unquote Kaspa killer, as well as Miria. I know GFAI, the developers or the people who founded GFAI, they're like people who come from Blizzard, Ubisoft, and many other big, like Sega as well, I think. So again, I think there's a lot of promising projects in this space. Of course, if GFAL returned to all-time highs like it did November 23, that would be 4 or 5 cents. That would be a 10x from here. And Mr. Mars is now trying to catch up. Well, no, I am 20 minutes over, and I've got a video to create for you guys on Kaspa, so I am not answering random questions anymore. Predictions: rate cuts in May with 10 BPS, rate cuts in June, release of smart contracts. I'm not so much sure about rate cuts in May, but I do think we'll see rate cuts in June, hopefully. But it depends on what we see with Jerome Powell going forward right now. But with that being said, Mr. Mars is back in full force right now. There you go. That being said, if you enjoyed very much, then please feel free to leave a like, share with your friends, and subscribe for more. Welcome back everyone to the channel again. If you enjoyed, of course, again, show the love. If you want to know more about crypto and other market sentiment and also Kaspa, then check out the free community. Links down in the description. Also on my homepage here. And if you want to be even more locked in, knowing a lot more in-depth insight, educational sources, and trading alerts and whatnot, then check out the VIP group again. Links down in the description. Also homepage here as well, wop.com/coin-factory. Have a great day, good evening, and good night. And I will see you all in the next one. Take care.